Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode of the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm Becca, and it's a pleasure to have you here on the 1st of August 2023. With summer in full swing and autumn just around the corner, it's the perfect time to indulge in the Food and Wine Festival. Running from the 27th of July to the 18th of November, this festival offers a delightful array of dishes created by globally inspired chefs, showcasing innovative cooking techniques from around the world. I'm not alone on this show. Today, joining me is Ben.
Hello.
Claire.
Hi, and I apologise.
Welcome to Claire's croaky voice.
Claire's got a bit of a dodgy voice today.
I said before we started recording, I'm kind of like channeling like my inner Phoebe Buffet when she was sick doing Smelly Cat, and everyone thought she sounded better. So I'm really sorry that I don't quite sound my usual self.
As you have, we've also got John here.
Hi, Becky. You lost me at the very first two words.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Dreamers of all ages. Is that what Disney says now?
Hang on a minute. We've gone really upmarket all of a sudden there. Like,
It's better than just saying AO.
I'm not sure we can say ladies and gentlemen anymore. Can't we? Do we have to use something gender neutral?
Before we dive into the exciting world of food and wine, let's take a moment to reflect on our journey to a century. We're counting down to our 100th episode later this year, while also celebrating 100 years of the Walt Disney Company. This month, Robin will be taking us back to the decade of 1973 to 1983, exploring the fascinating history of the Walt Disney Company during this time.
By 1973, the Disney Company was riding high on its success in establishing the Walt Disney World as the premier vacation destination in the world. It didn't take long for the new leadership team to revisit one of Walt's plans to expand their footprint in Florida, as well as expanding globally. Following the immediate success of Walt Disney World's opening, the expansion of new attractions to the park was swift during this decade. After the opening of Tom Sawyer Island in the Magic Kingdom earlier in the year, and after continual questions of, where's the Pirates ride? Pirates of the Caribbean was added to the park too, and both opened in 1973. In 1974, Discovery Island opened in Walt Disney World as Treasure Island. And what we now know as Disney Springs opened March 22nd, 1975, as Lake Buena Vista Shopping Village. Carousel of Progress was relocated from Disneyland, and also what came to Tomorrowland was the People Mover and Space Mountain. Guests were making a splash in River Country, which opened in June 1976. It was one of the earliest fully themed water parks built.
River Country, it's a hoop, it's a holler, it's a water jamboree. River Country, big River Country, if you're hot around the collar, it's a cool place to be.
But Disney didn't stop there with its projects, and tasked WED Enterprises with leading the design for two larger projects during this decade. Kicking off with the Epcot Centre, a combination of Future World and World Showcase, which was inspired by the original ideas for Walt's experimental prototype Community of Tomorrow. With groundbreaking in 1979, it represented an investment of more than $1 billion, to which the park opened to great acclaim on October 1st, 1982.
In fact, the heart of everything we'll be doing in Disney World will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow. We call it Epcot, spelled E-P-C-O-T, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Here it is in larger scale.
Additionally, Wed went hard at work on plans for Tokyo Disneyland, the first foreign Disney park. Tokyo Disneyland opened in April 1983. The park was an immediate success in a country that had always loved anything Disney, and people flocked with increasing numbers. Throughout the 1970s, the Walt Disney Studios produced some notable live-action and animated films, though the release frequency slowed somewhat, and there was a swing towards most of the profits coming from the Walt Disney theme parks. In 1980, Walt Disney Home Video first began, and the company launched the Disney TV channel in 1983, which became the fastest growing TV channel on cable. Some of the most popular films this decade were Robin Hood in 1973, firm favourite in our household. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, The Rescuers, and Pete's Dragon all came in 1977. In 1979, saw the release of The Black Hole, which was the first Disney film to be rated PG. It cost $20 million to produce, making it the most expensive film up to that point. In 1981, The Fox and the Hound was released, but it was considered a bit of a flop and not as good as Disney's previous animations. Tron was released in 1982, and in 1983, Mickey's Christmas Carol came. It was the first feature film to star Mickey in 30 years. Walt's son-in-law, Ron W. Miller, took over as CEO of the Walt Disney Company in 1983, at a time when the company was starting to get left behind. Its usual audiences started to move away from the family-friendly films, preferring more adult and teen-orientated. Miller would become fundamental in that push for a new direction in the mid-80s.
I didn't realise so much stuff opened at
Sort of,
Magic Kingdom after the opening.
Yeah.
I know a few bits happened.
I remember the bit to do with Pirates where everyone was seeing this advert for Pirates and they go to Magic Kingdom and there was no Pirates attraction because it was on about Disney. It's like, we want Pirates. It's like, I can see that. That makes sense.
I can't imagine a park without it, can you? It's amazing.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting just to see where Carousel of Progress and also where the TTA sort of came, after the opening.
Yeah.
And just as, it's that bit that we all kind of, now you kind of take for granted that, they've been there from day one, but they actually weren't. I think that's a really important one, for everyone to get their head around. But the other thing to get your head around, I think, one was the fact that Epcot, groundbreaking was in 79 and the park opened in 82.
That's very fast for Disney. Yes.
Yeah.
Just let's run that by you, because
that's
again,
about halfway building Tron, isn't it? It's like 6 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Or a car park.
Yeah, and that's to actually have that bit, and I know the basic design has been refined from Walt's first idea and stuff like that, so they knew exactly what they were going to build, and probably at that particular time, materials could have been much cheaper, and the Disney Corporation just decided, right, let's go and let's put everything into this. But what a turnaround! To build a theme park.
When you think there's not 4 parks to manage at that time,
No,
Magic Kingdom, and when you think we've got the resources, whether it's more or less than what we currently have now, it's how much the plan was in place and what they knew they wanted to do, and someone was driving it. There was someone at all levels, probably of the company, that was going, "This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. We're not having we have to talk to this board. We're not having to please lots of other people." Because I think there was the comment there about films and how the park seems to be Disney's money driver, and that's currently what's happening.
That's very today.
Yeah. But can you imagine if we moved time forwards, 40 years, how long it would take them to build Spaceship Earth?
Yeah.
We thought Tron took a long time. Can you imagine how long it would take now? If someone was to start Spaceship Earth from scratch, it would take 10 years.
Yeah,
and
easily.
Just, to complete the entire park, which is enormous.
Yeah.
Making the lagoon, all of that stuff within a 3-year period.
Yeah.
It kind of blows my mind.
It's mind blowing. It is mind blowing.
Yeah.
For me,
put alongside that,
Mhm.
I was just going to say, put alongside that actually in 1982, Tron as a film came out.
Yes.
And we're in that sort of mindset now of exactly, we're harking back at Magic Kingdom, having something that's brand new as an attraction.
Yeah.
But when the film came, I actually remember the film coming out.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows me. but when it came out, it actually, it was meant to be futuristic, but it wasn't kind of believably futuristic. It was only maybe, I would probably say, sort of late 90s when I went back and watched it again. And you suddenly think, okay, I can see where you're going with that. And it becomes a little bit more understandable, really, wasn't it?
And Robin mentioned the film Black Hole. Now, I remember we talked about movies, underrated Disney movies, back like in our first year. And I remember Lloyd, love you, Lloyd, miss you terribly.
Yeah.
One of our previous Waffler friends. Black Hole was his pick. Black Hole was his number one underrated Disney movie, and I've still not watched it. I'm sorry, Lloyd. Still
And I
not.
didn't realise how much it cost.
Either.
I can't believe how much it cost. $20 million
Right?
to produce.
That's insane.
And in the 1970s, that was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money now.
A lot of money now.
not for a film. Not for a film.
Yeah,
But you consider that most Marvel films have a budget of like 200 million.
I know, but back then, and to create a movie that was a PG as well.
Yeah.
But I will, Lloyd. I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah,
The main problem with Black
all
Hole. The main problem with Black Hole is that it wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess
That's the main problem. That's it, really. Yeah.
Suffered from not being a Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
I remember
or even if they were
everywhere.
attached to Star Trek and stuff like that, it was missing. It was missing that sort of bigger space.
I remember
sort of,
franchise
IP,
though, on cereal boxes.
Oh, really?
I remember. Remember when the back of the cereal box used to be a scene, and then you'd get these stickers that you rub down transfers that you stick on the back, and you put them next to the scene and you rub it down. They were Black Hole ones.
Okay,
because I remember
my lasting memory of it. Yeah, my lasting memory of it is way back in the school days. I'm going to take myself back to primary school, but they used to have a good old-fashioned book club, right?
Yeah.
So you get this leaflet every quarter, and you don't order a book. You'd wait weeks and weeks and weeks for it to arrive. But Black Hole came as a free book. Now, I'm just saying, I think Disney knew that they had a film that they weren't quite sure about, based on the fact they were trying to give kids free books so that they go to the cinema and try and watch it.
It's a different way of
advertising. Might be wrong, but I remember it vividly.
I'm surprised that Tom Sawyer Island didn't open with the park. It's such a big space.
Yeah.
John,
but
Scholastic Book Fair.
Yes, it was. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that's just.
I remember. I was still doing those at school. Yep.
Was it called Chip when you were young?
Oh, Chip Club. Oh, yeah.
Chip and Scene.
Oh, it was Peter, the Chip Club.
Chip?
No, we had Puffin.
Yeah.
We were in the Puffin Club in my school.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember what mine was. I just remember
it was Scholastic.
And
it was Scholastic, but it wasn't. Yeah.
It was called Chip. And in senior school, it was called Scene.
No.
Yeah, and it was expensive.
No, ours was Puffin Club. And we all got the Puffin magazine.
It was always dead expensive, and your mum would always turn around and say,
not paying for that.
No, I'm not paying for that. We can get that cheaper. That's even before Amazon was created.
I think so-and-so's got one you can borrow.
Yeah. Go to the library. See if we get out in the library.
Right.
All these things we used to do before, before the invention of Kindles, Amazon. And,
I still like going to the library, John.
Yeah, it's quite, I can't remember the last time I actually went to the library, so there you go. I'm probably part of that change demographic, aren't I?
Talk about things that have changed.
Anyway,
I remember River Country. Does anyone here remember
Oh.
River Country?
I never saw it. I've seen
No,
pictures
no, I
of
never
it.
saw-
I've heard
just
tales of
pictures
it.
and videos.
And, you know, the myths
The
and legends.
tales of it are even
Myths and
better.
legends
Oh,
of
yeah,
River
they are,
Country.
Yes.
yeah.
But I was never there. I was never there early enough to go.
Yeah. I've seen bits of it. You know, when you
Get the boat from the Contemporary over to
on the
Yeah.
and there's bits of it that weren't. There used to be more bits of it visible than there are now before they started rebuilding or planning on building next to Wilderness Lodge. But it was quite intriguing, and some of the stories I will not relay in case maybe Disney don't like us to talk about bad stuff. However, just put a Google in for River Country, and you'll get stories that you really just like. I'll leave it to the imagination. And I think probably about at least 50% of them are probably made up. But hey, that's part of the legend.
Yes.
Oh.
I think we can't finish this segment without talking a little bit about Tokyo. That Disney took the first chance to go out of the United States.
US. Yeah.
Didn't the Japanese government petition them to build a park over there?
I'm trying to. My brain is trying to remember back to the Imagineering
I'm trying
story.
to remember the Imagineering story.
Is it like Japanese arm twisting? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And it's not even owned.
It's not owned by Disney.
It's not owned by Disney. It's owned by the Oriental Land Company.
Which is crossing of pounds with serious amounts of money to bring Disney into Japan. And you get,
Well, it seems to have
again,
worked.
to see that. Yeah, absolutely. But 83, and you think about that as a, I know we'll come back and we'll talk about another part that opened later. But to see how that has kind of sustained and grown after such a strong opening.
Yeah.
Looking at Epcot, I still 82 for Epcot is just like it becomes like ingrained in anyone's a real Epcot fan. You're just like, 82. Just
I
right.
remember just talking about when we did the 40th of Epcot show last year, and there's just so much to it. Where on our first trip, we've said this several times on the show that Epcot was like, "Oh, what's this?" It's like, nah, doesn't really seem to click. But several years later, and just like the more time you spend, the more time you just pause and just take moments in different countries, the World Showcase, and how it's changed over those years. And
it's still my favourite. It actually edged over Magic Kingdom last time, and it is now firmly my number one.
I can understand that. It's
yeah.
Every person comes out tired.
Yeah. I said especially popular with couples over 30.
Maybe that's what happened. 10:30.
There are many acronyms, some which we can't.
There are. I went for a clean one. Come on.
Yes, you did.
And I'm really
excited.
excited.
A couple on our show last year.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I get the next 10 years to do next month.
Yeah.
So I get 1983 to 1990. No, 1992, which has a big important year for me. 1992.
Yep.
I
was 2.
Yeah. Not the reason then.
He just likes to slip that in there, Claire. You see that? He just likes to slip that in.
But I'm not going to
talk
about
in 1992.
Right. Well, none of those are the reasons why I'm excited. I'm afraid.
Is it your first trip?
No. Something really important happened in 1992 in April.
Yep, and we'll also mention that in the mid-August show.
We will.
Yes, now I remember what it was.
Let's leave it there, just as a teaser. Anyone who doesn't know, go and look it up. It's not hard to work out. So I've got next month's.
Excellent.
Thank you, Robin. That was amazing.
It was.
Cool.
Walt Disney Company had another eventful decade.
When does it not?
When does it not?
Is that right?
Yeah, it's all eventful. So we've all had a chance to look at the menus for the Food and Wine Festival. and made some decisions on what we'd like to try and which dishes we might pass on. So each of us have chosen.
I'm looking forward to this.
So
If you're listening, go and get yourself a cup of tea, something like that, because this is going
That's something to eat.
Yeah, you
What's
can be
that?
hungry.
yeah, you might
You're
get a bit
gonna be
hungry.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are going to get hungry. You are going to actually, and actually, there are so many things. Can we have an outline of the rules, please, Beck?
no, there's no rules.
Because
Claire's going to break all of the rules anyway.
we must go through.
But each of us have chosen 3 dishes we would particularly like to try if we had the chance, and 3 that we would like to avoid or throw away and get rid of completely.
Can I say those 3 dishes?
3 dishes,
3
Claire.
single dishes, not 3 where you put 3 together and make a meal.
Not 3 foods.
I've got more on my list in case other people have chosen the same ones as me. That's all I'm saying. And if they haven't, then we'll have some honourable mentions at the end.
Claire spent the
So,
weekend.
Claire, you're volunteering to go first there, aren't you?
Well, I've approached mine in a very systematic way. So, I don't think people will have chosen the same as me.
Are we doing best first or worst first?
I think best.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's do
finish that
best.
high.
We're going to do all best and then all worst.
Oh.
We're going to go.
Oh, brat first.
Let's start in Germany.
Impressive.
Let's start with you.
Oh no. Okay, so we're
Ben's
doing
best.
Ben's best.
Okay, so must try the crispy paneer from India. Had to be on my list.
See, that's what I don't have to say because you've said
There
it.
you go. See, I wonder how many of us, because we've been doing the show 4 years, whether any of our tastes of food have changed. We've listened to what we've said in the past few years, or just ignore them completely. I know that I've learned not to go for the escargot from France. Thank you, Lloyd, for that tip.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, that crispy paneer with mango curry ketchup, I can't wait to eat. I'm gonna, Every time I've gone past the India, there's kind of massive long queue, but this time I'm totally gonna wait because I need to try it.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Is like when you've been to Food and Wine, there's a lot of stuff that changes year to year, but then there's also a lot of stuff like, I know it's a staple, it can be there next year, but sometimes they'll change it up. So if you see what you want, as we've always said with everything Disney, you see it, even there's a queue, go for it. I'm going to be heading to Germany for the next one, and I'm going to try and pronounce this. Schinkennudeln? Is that something?
Schinkennudeln.
Yeah. Pasta gratin with ham, onions, and cheese. So if you hadn't guessed, that's from Germany. That sounds amazing. We've had
that before, haven't we?
See, I don't think we've had a different gratin with potato.
Potato gratin we had before.
But I think that was I don't think that was a Food and Wine. I think that was a Fest of the Arts. But to me, something that's got ham, onion, cheese, pasta can't really go wrong.
Can't go wrong with that. Yeah.
Jill, Peter, have you had the Schinkennudeln at King Ludwig's in Disneyland Paris previously? Because I've had it there.
No.
Many years ago. It's obviously
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
I had it there. It was good.
They changed the menu several times. When we went to Ludwig. Yeah.
And to finish off my must try, as I'm sticking with only 3 options here, Mickey shaped liquid nitro cake from Swirled Showcase. It sounds interesting. It's Mickey shaped. What's not to like?
You know, I was reading that off of the bit of paper you've got in front of me, and I thought it said Coke. So,
what, Mickey shaped liquid nitro Coke?
Yes,
that's impressive.
It'll be solid.
Yeah. And also, it's a Swirled Showcase. I'm not sure where that is on the map, but Claire, I'm looking forward to you to taking a picture when you're there and letting us know.
I will do my best.
Who's next?
Who's next? Well, I was going to go through the order I introduced everyone in, so Claire's next.
Oh, no, I'm next. Okay. So here we go. You're right. You ready for my
3?
Is everyone sitting comfortably?
So I have chosen, this is really hard. So I did choose some for me, but I went for the plant-based options because that's obviously what I would choose. But I also asked Morgan and Millie because they eat everything. They're like omnivores. What they would choose. So I kind of have like two different lists going on, but I'll go with mine, and then there's going to be honourable mentions. So for me, I am going to go for the. So I thought it was interesting that the dark chocolate fondue with berries, pancake, and meringue from the Alps was marked as plant-based, because that must mean the meringue is made without eggs. So I'm intrigued.
Aquafaba?
Maybe. Where are the rest of the chickpeas gone is the question.
Indeed, that's the question. Yes.
They're over in Morocco somewhere.
Yeah.
I am not a big dessert person. I would always go salty rather than sweet. Funnily enough, I'm sure everyone at home is going, we know. So I thought that was that was one of Millie's picks as well. So that was one. I also had from the Noodle Exchange on my list the tofu ramen with shiitake mushrooms, pickled carrots, daikon radish, peppers, bok choy, and a citrus sesame broth. That for me sounds like dinner. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I love a pickled carrot, and I just thought it sounds like a really well balanced option. I don't know how big it will be. That would be the only thing. I'm not a massive fan of ramen noodles. I think I watched Lost Boys too many times when I was in my teens, but I think I would definitely give that a go. And then I did have the paneer on there. The other thing that I had, which is a bit of a fun thing for me, was the Impossible buffalo wings, because I do miss chicken wings. And the Brew Wing, I think Brew Wing might be the best booth this year for me, but they've got Impossible buffalo wings. They've also got Impossible chicken tenders, which is exciting. So for me, if I was going plant-based entirely, those would be my top three.
That's really good, actually, because I remember we spoke about this before, that sometimes the festival is like, oh, here's your one booth. Or
here's an avocado. No thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. They're getting some more options.
There was one that I don't know whether anyone. No, shall I wait and see if anyone else picks it, and then I'll ask a question, because I've got a question for Peter about one of them.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
Shall I wait or shall I ask? Becca, you're in charge.
I don't mind.
Ask.
So,
let's ask. Yeah.
So Peter, I'm intrigued. You're a chef. I'm hoping you're going to be able to give me the answer to this. Flavors of America are doing chilaquiles, which is the corn tortilla chips with salsa verde, ranchero chicken, queso fresco, cilantro lime crema, and a soft poached egg. And my question is, how on earth are they going to do that en masse in a booth in Epcot?
That's going to be a really long queue.
There are two ways they could do it. They can have them, they can poach them soft and hot hold them.
Yeah, in like a CV type affair.
Yeah, or in it depends on how soft they are, because you could put them in a baking dish filled with water. That would work. Or they could buy them and just reheat them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So are they going to cheat?
I just read that and I was like, that's a really brave choice to put a soft poached egg on a festival dish in a booth in the middle of, Flavors of America. It's in that central sort of like fake grassy area. Yeah. So it's not even attached to a pavilion where they could do
what they're probably going to do is in one of the big central kitchens, they'll do a load of soft poached eggs. Yeah. And then take them over in a hot cupboard thing that they can push over. That's what they'll probably do.
Because I've never seen anything that, what I would think, technically demanding.
Yeah.
Bear with them.
But you can buy ready poached eggs that come in plastic packages.
Really?
That sounds like Disney things.
So appetizing.
Well, do you know what? We'll go and get one, because I won't eat it, but other people will eat it. We'll go and buy one, and we'll investigate while we're there.
Yep.
Oh, great idea.
I have to say,
I'll wait.
I spotted that, and that's one reason I didn't want to go for that.
Well, I don't want it. I'm just interested as to how they might do it.
Yeah.
I'll come back to my others if other people don't choose them.
Okay.
I wonder how much goes into when they plan the menus for this. How much planning, making things en masse? Is it like?
Well, that must be a huge consideration because
because
it's not
they
just
come
en
with
masse,
so
but
many.
it's rapid as well. It's got to be
Yeah.
quick turnover. You know, you've got a queue of 10, 15 people. You've got to be able to churn it out quickly.
Yeah.
If you have a huge central kitchen on property or several huge kitchens dotted around, then you can make stuff en masse and move it in. That's how lots of shops do it.
I don't think they do that though, because the restaurants are still running their normal menus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The restaurants are still functioning as full service restaurants anyway. And each of those booths has the kit that they need to deliver the food dishes that they're doing. So
it depends what those dishes are.
Yeah.
You know.
I wish we had somebody there who worked for Disney in the kitchens who could tell us.
Yeah.
Maybe John Self knows someone he could ask.
I'm sure. Yes.
We'll find out.
That'd be an intriguing one as well, though, wouldn't it? Because actually, you know, I think when you go there, Claire, that's the bit where, again, if you have that little bit of a more of a nosy, you don't have to go and buy stuff in every stop along the way, but to try and see how it's actually created, because they, as standalone kitchens, there needs to be that sort of complete sort of understanding that, you know, what's cooked within certain places is actually fresh and so, you know.
There is another way they could do it. There is another way
Yeah.
they could do it, and that is, so long as you have your micromanage it, you could do them in double boilers in the actual place. So long as you micromanage it, you can get exactly the same egg each time. So long as you micromanage it, do it in a double boiler.
Environment. What's the thing?
If you have a double boiler, yeah,
it'll be a challenge.
Claire, your task when you're out there is to go and find out.
Yeah, they might look rubbish, so then we'll know they can't. I'll find out.
Might taste rubbish, yeah.
Or you can just go and ask one of the cast members that work at that booth.
Absolutely. I'll do my best to investigate.
Cool.
Right. John, your top three.
Okay. I'm trying desperately not to cheat. Food wise, Bubble and Brine, which doesn't open until a little later beyond the July opening time. They've just announced at time of recording, they put their things on today, but they've got shrimp cocktail or crab claw offering, which sounds really good. USA seafood stew with saffron infused and infused with tomato fennel. It just sounds absolutely incredible. Sourdough crostini, but more than anything else, the Spanish stop off with the charcuterie or paella is the one. I think for me is where I'm going to go. Plus the fact that there's a sangria flight that you can actually get there, which has got a choice of red, white, or rosé sangria. And actually, if you've never explored sangria before, sangria is the most amazing thing. Particularly, I'm my mind's thinking of August, and I'm thinking, you know, there's some things that have come on my least wanted list that I don't think are appropriate for appearing so early in the season, because they're more kind of winter based dishes. But sangria, if you've never experienced it, which I would imagine quite a lot of people going to the Food and Wine Festival haven't, sangria is beautiful, and go and have a look at that. I've got a massive list of other drinks as well.
Yeah, I didn't even try I didn't even get to my drinks list, John. We'll keep them for
I think we'll keep them, but
That could
also
be a drinking around the world segment.
but I would also point out that there's many places, Canada and Belgium in particular, have got beer flights on the go, and actually it cuts across any of that choice bit. You just go for a beer flight or a sangria flight, and you get the best choice of everything. And also, it just opens that opportunity up. I actually, having never done food and wine, which is really disappointing, because this summer would have been great because it's during August, and that would have been right up my street. However, I'm more thinking it would cost an awful lot more to drink around the world. And that might be an issue. That could be an issue moving forward for our next excursion in August, because actually there's a massive choice of things to drink.
Yeah.
And
really sounds quite
old enough to drink as well.
Yeah, it's going to cost.
It's going to cost even more.
A fortune. Exactly.
I am a bit that Belgium doesn't have any fruit beers. I like Belgian fruit beers, Greek, things like that. They're really good.
Nice cassis.
Stick to the beer flight, aren't we? Belgian beer doesn't need fruit in it to water it down or anything. Belgian beer.
Oh, it doesn't water it down.
They are strong.
Well, Belgians know what they do. Belgians know what they're doing with beer. Right.
Oh, they do. Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
So yeah, Becca, that's that. It's that quite succinctly is
that
my
was your
choice.
3, was it, John?
3, yeah, 3 and a
Ish.
and a 3 with a drinks package. I think that's the best way.
This is how you're packaging up your meals.
Yeah, 3 food, 3 drink. We should have done that actually. Must try food, must try. And then 3 drinks.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Peter.
Yeah, I'm debating, but I'm going to start in Hawaii because I want to see how Spam goes with sushi rice.
Okay.
Interesting.
You know, Spam is really big in Hawaii. It's
never had
not the best thing here. People take the mickey out of it terribly, but I'd like to see. Then I'm going to Greece for the spanakopita because I like spanakopita.
It's not spanakopita, you know.
No, it's not. No. There's just something about cheese and phyllo pastry that just go together. It's delicious. And then I'm going to China for the crispy duck bao bun in hoisin in hoisin sauce, which is new this year. Not new to me because it's one of my go-to dishes.
I didn't realise that was new.
bao bun.
I thought that was one of the.
It says new on the list.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the teriyaki chicken bun.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
in Japan. Yes. Yeah.
In Japan, yeah.
Which
They are
can't
nice.
be missed.
Yeah.
The trouble is, there's so much that picking 3 is
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
yes. And there's is it in Italy where the roll is?
That's number 4.
I know. John had a beer.
I've played by the rules. This
Peter,
time.
just say you've got a cousin that you've asked as well.
Yeah.
That's
I
joining
didn't tell
you.
you Million Morgan's choices.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get your honourable mentions in a minute.
Get them in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Just.
Yeah.
I'm unsure about dipping a bread roll in stock, but that's what they do, and it's
Wait.
sounds interesting.
Dipping bread into gravy is a new thing.
Oh, yes.
Jill, is it Jill next?
It's Jill's next.
It is.
Moving on.
Says Peter trying to move swiftly on.
Yes.
I was going to add as well, Peter. It's that whole thing about the northern lads love gravy.
They do.
A good old fashioned soccer AM bit on
chips
as well. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
So, well, I'm going to start off with the one that actually, if I was having this in real life, I'd probably have it at the end of the evening because I'm not a big drinker. And if I had this, I probably wouldn't manage anything else. So I'm going to Wine and Wedge, which is one of these booths that doesn't open till September. And I'm going for the Artist Palette of Wine and Cheese. Assorted artisanal cheeses and accoutrements. Do love an accoutrement. Paired with, here we go, if I can pronounce these, I'm sober enough to go there. Selbach, Oster, Seltinger, Sonnenuhr, Riesling Spätlese, Hartley Apple Brandy, and Florida Orange Groves Winery Black and Blue Port. So I'm not quite sure what half of those are, but basically they come down to
It
I'm
sounds
fairly
rather
certain
nice.
that the first one sounded
Well, you-
German, so
Yes.
Well, you know what a Spätlese is.
Yeah, Spätlese is a sweet wine because the grapes are harvested later. So, yep. Hartley apple brandy sounds nice. And black and blue port. Yep, I'll go for that. And
Someone beat it up.
cheeses. Yeah, I know. Black and blue port. What have you done to it? So, yeah, so that's going to be my first choice. And second choice, let me find it, is an old favourite, Canada. And it is where are we? It's the filet mignon. It's the only one that we had twice in one trip.
It is, yeah.
Because it was so nice that we went back and had it again. Again, you would suspect that they couldn't do a good steak en masse. You know, that it might be a bit chewy, whatever. It wasn't. It was just amazing. Here we are. Canadian filet mignon served with mushrooms, Boursin black truffle and sea salt mashed potatoes, and a Boursin black truffle and sea salt whipped butter. And it's just beautifully balanced.
So it's going to be very garlicky.
Really tasty.
Yeah.
Very garlicky. Yeah.
Did you try that last year when you were there?
We tried it on our first visit.
Okay.
And so we had it twice in the same visit.
Second
It was
visit.
so good.
Second.
It's
Second visit, yes.
it's
Second.
one to eat with people that only with people that really love you.
Yes,
Yes.
because you will be garlicky.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, fortunately, she was
Yes.
eating it with me.
Yeah.
Right.
And my third one, I'm going to another new place, Char and Chop. And I am going for the roasted porchetta with lemon, parsley, salsa verde, and shaved fennel salad. Porchetta is pork, I believe.
It's rolled
pork
pork with herbs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolled with herbs.
So it's kind of the equivalent of where in Britain you get hog roasts in a roll. It's kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the lemon parsley salsa verde sounded really nice. That would cut through the fattiness. So yeah, that's my third one.
You've got to be careful with the amount of herbs you roll with it, because sometimes the herbs can take over the flavour of the pork. Because pork is actually quite delicate, really.
Or bland, as we like to call it.
I prefer delicate.
Bland sounds like it.
Go on, Becca, what's yours?
So my first one is the beignet au treos fromage from the French booth, which is a one beignet filled with 3 cheese sauce.
Is that one of the Emile's Fromage Montage collection?
No, it's not.
No.
Is it not?
No, it's
No,
not.
I thought
No,
it was.
no, it's not.
I'm surprised it's
I'll
not.
have a quick look. What's the email?
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with melted cheese and something bready, so
Got my link for
I'm
it.
going to go with that. And you could just have a look on the app, you know.
That
It
is
is
true.
not. It's not.
No.
It's not. No, I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm on Disney Food Blog, and it's definitely not
How
on.
strange. I think my next one might be. I'm not going for a theme, I promise.
Cheese. All the cheese.
It's the Remy Liege waffle, Connections Eatery. So it's cream cheese Liege waffle with cream cheese icing, graham cracker crumbs, and a Remy chocolate ganache.
Yeah, that was on my list.
Okay.
And all
That
the
sounds
cheese.
yummy. And all the cheese. Now, my third one was on Claire's list, which was the dark chocolate fondue. So I'm going to change it to the berry mimosa from Shimmering Sips.
Okay.
Because, or possibly the mimosa fly, one of the two.
All of the mimosas.
All of the mimosas.
Yeah.
Why not?
Excellent.
Do they make the Liège waffles there, or are
They do.
I
Because they have.
do.
Oh.
So the
Well, that'll be great
Connections-
then.
Connections Eatery have a Liege waffle on their menu
menu.
generally. So this is just
Yeah.
another
So-
version of it.
Of the Liège waffle.
yeah.
Okay.
When we were there for Flower and Garden, the Liege waffle that they did for the festival was a pre-packaged one with
Okay.
just a bit of chocolate on top.
shame.
So this feels a little bit more.
Better.
Oh, wow.
So I think
Yeah.
if you get it from the cafe side, which is the Starbucks side, they tend to be pre-packaged. If you get it from the
Yeah.
Connections Eatery,
It's
they are fresh because that is one of the desserts I tried when I ate with Lou and recorded his show last year.
Right.
That waffle was I never had it. He introduced me to that, and I say a lot much like you, I'm not a sweets person, I'm not a dessert. Generally I will avoid desserts, but that waffle is a definite. The original one that's on the Connections Eatery is so good. If you're going, get the mango ice, like the mango shake as well, which is almost like an ice cream with it's got pomegranate molasses on it. I would get that and scoop it onto the waffle.
Okay.
That sounds nice.
Good.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it.
This
Yeah.
show is making me hungry already.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it and try this stuff.
Well, hopefully this next little lot will stop you from being hungry. After we've got, after we've done, yes, after
Yeah,
we've done
please do.
these.
So,
Please do, Claire.
Millie wants to try Flavours from Fire. Now, I thought this sounded like a really great idea for her, who's 10.
Yeah.
And we went through the menus. The spiced chocolate tart with a barbecue potato chip crust, salted whiskey caramel, and smoked sea salt. That is on her
I'm going to be
list.
honest, I underlined
That's my girl, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sitting there going, yeah.
Right.
I can see where she gets you.
And do you know what she said? Out of all of that, she said to me, "Do you think it might be a bit salty?" I was like, "I think you'll be okay, Mills." So that's on the list. For Morgan, he had the beef wagyu don, which is the Japanese beef wagyu beef rice bowl on his list.
Yeah.
Isn't that American Wagyu beef, though, not Japanese Wagyu beef? It
is American Wagyu beef. But
it's in the Japanese pavilion.
It is in the Japanese
pavilion. But that's how it's affordable.
Yeah, right. It's why it's a snack credit, or it would have been a snack credit. And then because it's my brother's 50th birthday celebration that we're going for this year, we have volunteered him as a group of his best family friends to test out the unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty Scotch bonnet pepper curry wings yogurt at the Brew Wing booth, and he has agreed. It's been, I think, every single person in our little WhatsApp group chat has agreed that Ian is going to try those, and possibly the peanut butter and jelly wings as well. So those were
They
things.
sound nice. The wings sound nice.
Yeah.
Video needed
Steakhouse 71 Lounge, because they do a
PB&J wings you can, but like the stupid Scotch bonnet ones, I don't think you can.
No.
Have a glass of milk ready for him.
Yeah.
Right. And then there was 2 drinks I wanted to mention. One is so anyone who's been to the Germany pavilion will have probably tried the grapefruit beer.
Yeah.
In the festival, they have the Schäferhofer, but it's a prickly pear beer, which I thought sounded really interesting to try.
That's a bit different, right?
And then at the Fry Basket, they have a cocktail called the Salty Dog Cocktail, which I have on my list to try, which is Boyd and Blair potato vodka, grapefruit juice, ginger, simple syrup, lime, and a salted rim. So that sounds
nice.
Okay.
Vodka, grapefruit, lime. I think that's definitely up my stream. So those are the 2 drinks that I want to find.
You and I are very different, Claire. I
Absolutely. I could have told you that without going through the food and wine.
I do like sweet things, yes.
No.
Right, so let's make everyone less hungry and go for those things that we would not want to try.
Well,
then
there's quite a few things, and there seems to be a theme at this festival now, especially this year, that there seems to be revolving around pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But at Brew Wing at the Odyssey, which is also hosted by the Muppets, the Muppet Labs, which makes no sense to me. I'm guessing that's why that they've come up with this, which is a pickle milkshake.
Yes, I saw that.
It's why that's.
I think that.
Yes.
I missed that because I'm looking at a list of things that got alcohol in them. That doesn't feature highly on my.
Do you know what that
my go-to?
That reminds me of when I was a teenager. Story time. When I was a teenager, I spent a year working in McDonald's while I was at school, and I had a friend who worked at McDonald's with us, who we dared to drink a large McDonald's cup full of the juice that the pickles.
There you go.
And he did it.
Groundbreaking.
He did it.
Groundbreaking.
He did it properly. He put the ice in the cup and the lid and the straw and the whole works.
Wow.
And that is what went through my head when I saw the pickle milkshake. I was like,
Oh,
are you actually serious? Who wants to
Sorted.
drink a pickle milkshake? That's
Just wait. That'll be on the McDonald's menu next summer.
that's disgusting.
It will
Some
be.
of the
It'll be
fast-
there.
No.
some of the fast food places in America have done pickle drinks before pickle sodas.
I
Pickle,
really don't
yeah.
understand
No.
it.
Why?
Yeah, I agree. Ugh.
Anyone knows why? Tell us why, because we just don't understand it.
Oh, Claire, can you imagine, right? All those people who don't have pickle
like a
on their
pound
burger at
milkshake.
McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
And so what they could do, this is McDonald's, if you're listening, right? This is, I'll just take the 10%. You're all right. Everyone who
You'd
doesn't
be
want
lucky.
a pickle, yeah, I will be.
They could just
If you
drop it
don't
into
wanna-
it. Yeah, this is it. I'm the
They,
person.
they
who
could
takes
drop
out.
it. They could
That's me.
put it in the liquidizer, milkshake it,
Oh,
sort it, and actually,
God.
it's no
Yeah.
additional cost to McDonald's.
Maybe this is
There you
the
go.
alternative when the milkshake or ice cream
Sell it
thing's
for a
broken.
fortune.
It's like
Oh.
If the milkshake machine is broken, I will just stick with a Coke.
I was thinking maybe you get like the pickle in a pouch.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pickle and you pour the juice into a milkshake.
Oh,
I want to see them make this.
I would,
Or maybe
I
not.
want to see someone drinking it, and I'm going to challenge.
I-
It's my brother. I'm going to make him drink it.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm a
like
nice
with your
guy.
last one, Claire, I think you need to video some of the things
Yeah.
that you're going
Yeah.
to make him drink.
Oh, can we get Jason to go and try some stuff?
Right, you need to just go and buy it.
on our list of things that we
Okay.
don't want.
Let
What
me
you need
just
to do
message Jason
is
for that.
take a refillable cup, pour it in, and just say,
Oh.
just try a bit of
Okay,
this
have
drink.
this.
No, it's all wrong.
No, I
Yeah.
I don't understand why they decided to come with this,
Yeah.
but maybe actually people might try this and go, it's amazing.
I bet
They-
people buy it just to
but
try
they-
it. And
those
it's probably
people
like
might-
$8 a throw, and they'll have one mouthful and throw it away. And Disney will be laughing all the way to the bank.
Or do what most people who are listening to this, you know, if you're driving, you try to have a coffee while you're driving. I'm not paying for any revaleting of your car. If we've caused any major incident,
Right.
yeah, it's not happening.
Let's get this theme over with. There's also something else to do with pickles on my list. It's like pickle fries with dill ranch from the fry basket.
Right. Again, no.
Well, I don't.
Why?
I just yeah.
Why?
Fried pickles
That
are really
intrigues
popular in
me.
America.
is it
That
fried
really
pickles or
intrigues
is
me.
it? Yeah.
Pickle fries.
Yeah.
It's from the
Yeah.
fry basket.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fried pickles. They're like
Yeah.
slices
Yeah.
of pickle.
Yeah.
Rather
Yeah.
than
Okay.
rounds,
Okay.
they're like long slices.
Yeah.
yeah. That'd be intriguing, but
You should
actually,
get frickles. You
it's
can
the
buy
fried-
frickles.
it's the
Yeah.
fried bit. It's the
Yeah.
fried bit I don't particularly.
No.
Yeah.
And because there's nothing else pickle to choose from, I went for the oysters Rockefeller from Coastal Eats because I don't do oysters or seafood.
Even cooked.
Yep. Nope.
Oh, there you go. You see.
Yeah.
Angels on horseback are lovely.
Well, it's your list now, Claire.
I went with 3 things that 2 of them are things that I am not going to be eating in August. So much like John mentioned. So one of them,
Yeah.
I did have the pickle milkshake, but Ben's had that. So Ireland, seriously,
Yes.
oven baked sausage called cannon and onion gravy in the middle of August in Florida. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It means you don't have to heat it, just leave it outside.
Well, you don't need, it's just like the most ridiculous
Yeah.
thing to serve. Why would you possibly even consider putting that like heavy 100-weight dish on a where someone's
Yeah.
going to be walking around in 130 degrees?
Yeah, but just think that they only got 200 steps to go on Guardians afterwards.
Yeah, the thing won't move. It's be like weighed down.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive. I don't eat meat, but I'm not a massive fan of sausages, even when I do eat. If I did eat meat, so there's lots of reasons I wouldn't be eating that. The other one that I had on there, which again is around the time of year, and John, you're going to hate me for this. In Spain, the seafood salad. So it's a seafood salad with shrimp, scallops, mussels,
Yeah.
olive oil, white balsamic, and smoked paprika. because the minute you take that from the person in the booth and you step into the
It's
blazing
going to
sun,
destroy itself. Yeah.
it is going to be disgusting
I know what you mean.
and not edible. So, like maybe in November, that might be something that you could eat, but in the middle of the summer, that is going to be vile, if not potentially harmful. So I was like, well, I think that's a poor judgment in terms of offering that early in the season. I would leave that till later in the season, but they haven't. And then, much to my son's disgust, the other thing on my list of things that I am not going anywhere near is the candied bacon funnel cake. This year, the funnel cake offer, last year it was like a pina colada one, which went quite well. This year it is a funnel cake which has got candied bacon and maple syrup and whipped cream. And thank you, but no thank you. For all the reasons.
Yeah, but funnel cake.
Claire, if you decide to buy it, I'd happily eat it.
That's fine. I am not buying it. I am not eating it. It's someone in my family will.
Yeah.
I know they will. And I will sit there and I will tut and I will roll my eyes and I'll take some photos. But no.
I'm sure that's on the deluxe menu at either Denny's or IHOP, isn't it? Like, can you imagine?
Right.
It's just like it is that sort of.
It'll still be cheaper than the one in Epcot. I promise you that.
What can we do with funnel cake? Yeah, chuck some bacon, cream. That's it. Sorted.
No.
What you can do with funnel cake is chuck it in the bin. It's awful.
It is disgusting. It's just
It is.
I don't mind funnel cake.
Greasy, fatty. I don't like
It's
donuts
the fatty
either.
bit. It's the high. Yeah. It's the fried bit.
It's
even when Ben talked about the fried gherkins, or pickles, it must be something that comes in life where you can't stand food that's been totally fried. And even walking by the funnel cake place in Epcot turns my stomach. It's just like that
American adventure
stale fat.
That's the thing, and it's I think that funnel cake particularly. I know lots of people love it. I'm really sorry if you love it. For me, I don't do donuts either, but funnel cake is like the epitome of that the extra high surface area to volume ratio. So there's an awful lot of that, and if there's so much fried exterior that it sucks up all of that old chip fat smell and flavour. It's like, no, it's not happening. So if you love it, knock yourself out.
I've only ever had one, and I'm never gonna have one again.
Something to be tried, whether to have again.
Everything should be tried once. That's a good philosophy of life.
That is true.
And then you realise why. That's it.
You learn better. You know better the next time.
You do.
Yeah. So is it back to me? Because actually, I'm going to carry that theme on that Claire started there about things that don't belong in August. And actually, the Alps, which is very handily positioned. The position of it is really quite true to form, which I'll take my hat off. They haven't stuck it between Mexico and Norway and stuff like that. They've thought about it. But they're offering cheese raclette.
Yeah.
A couple of cheese raclette things. I'm not being funny with it, but in August, anything from a raclette, particularly liquid cheese, you're either going to completely burn your mouth and throat, or you're going to burn your hands because you're going to hold.
Paper it comes in.
It just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. However, whilst I was researching this, I've got a question. It's not a suggestion. But on one of the booths has got shaved lettuce. Now, I'm not being funny with you, right?
How do you shave lettuce?
You get finely chopped lettuce, right? Like the most minute, tiny little piece of lettuce. How do you shave lettuce? If someone could explain,
it doesn't get very hairy.
It's just like I got completely lost on that. I just thought maybe someone listening, right, get in touch. Tell me, how do you shave a lettuce? Because to be really honest, how can you put that on the menu? shaved lettuce. One, yeah, they're going to lather it up with a big area of shaving foam, and then you're going to ruin the taste, aren't you?
I've got this image of someone going to supermarket, getting lettuce.
And some razor blades.
Or you're gonna end up with the most minute, tiny slither of lettuce.
Yeah.
That in the heat of the day, it's going to turn it that that bit where when you know you've had salad in the fridge that little bit too long, right? And it goes into that bit that you think, nah, go to the bin, in the bin, right? But that was happening in the space of like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
In Epcot, and you're just like shaved lettuce. Yeah, you're having a laugh. Yeah. On my list also was the spam bit that Peter chose as his favourite. So I'll gloss over that. I won't pick a fight with you, Peter. But I will go with something completely different. And again, when you go to Ireland, right? So Guinness, right, with Bailey's and a coffee shot in it. Hang on. Why are you going to spoil a pint of Guinness by putting Bailey's in it? Come on.
I was going to say, why are you going to destroy a Bailey's by putting Guinness in it?
Yeah, exactly.
Those two things should be separate.
Yeah.
I've done this. I did it. I did one for the team. I think the first year they had it, the dipcast was still going.
Yeah.
And I went to the Ireland booth and I videoed drinking it for the dipcast. For I think Jez and Anna and I think Jeff as well at the time. Because it's been on that booth for quite a number of years.
Yeah.
I swear to you, do not do it.
It just looks wrong.
I still have the glass.
It sounds wrong. It is wrong.
It could not be more wrong. I still have the souvenir glass that it comes in, which is like a 1/4 pint glass. It's like a proper Guinness glass. It's about 1/4 pint. And it's got the Guinness logo on the side. It is the most disgusting thing I think I've drunk in Epcot ever.
So sorry, it's
Guinness
ever.
It's Guinness.
Guinness is beautiful. I love a pint of Guinness. Yeah,
Guinness and Bailey's should work. The dark, rich tones and
it was curdle though.
It didn't curdle. No, it didn't curdle.
No,
but the thickness of it in your mouth.
It's the
No.
And is that really something you want at the end of August?
Yes.
That's
it's cold, but it's not good.
Not refreshing.
No, that's not good.
In fact,
I'm going to
pass it on.
Yeah, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on really quick from that because actually, it's actually make me. It's not make me feel very So my final choice, right? I can't even tell you where it was, but you'll pick up on it immediately. Why? Right. So again, this is shaved beef. Now, having thought about shaved lettuce, shaved beef I can understand, right? I think it was a shaved beef ramen, right? But if you're like me, who now struggles talking properly, and from where I come from, the very mention of shiitake mushrooms, right? So if you go anywhere, and even as we record this, I know fine well that if someone puts it through one of those little bits that picks out on words, right?
Yeah.
The words
YouTube put
the word shiitake. The word shiitake. Right, where I come from, that becomes a part and parcel of your everyday speech. So I can imagine me going around Epcot after having enjoyed many beers with the ability to use the word shiitake, right? Not only does it sound like a 70s football player, right? But also it kind of spits out your mouth where I come from. You see, because like where you come from is imagine. I'm not going any further because actually I could lose.
I think we've worked out from tonight that John doesn't like shaved food.
Well, I'm just thinking about the shaved beef, and I'm imagining all these cows in the field.
No, that shaved beef is different though, because actually I actually understand from a food point of view, shaved beef is dead cheap to actually serve because it's like wafer thin. Yeah, it's wafer thin. So I can understand at least they're being open and honest.
Yeah,
you know you're not going to get a right nice big bit of beef.
It's not going to be like the fillet in Canada, is it?
No, no. But while I'm on the subject, right? So you get depending on where your culinary delights want to take you, right? So you get to Ireland, but there's nothing in the UK pavilion, right? So you're still faced with fish and chips from the booth there, right? I think we need a little Scottish stall, right?
They used to
have one. They used to have one.
2010, there was one.
You can't
wait
do
for it.
haggis in America.
No, you can't.
Wait for it. Oh, you want proper Scottish flat sausage in a roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
sausage.
The square
Long
sausage.
sausage.
Yeah.
In a morning roll.
Roll and sausage. Be sorted. Can of iron
Can you
brew.
imagine the
Disney.
lines?
Disney. You heard it first here. You'd be queued out.
Yeah.
And you can even do
And
dessert. You
proper
can have
Scottish
tablets.
whiskey as well.
Or
Nah, I don't need that.
They
Pint
could-
tenants. At 10
they could
a.m. in the
branch
morning.
out. Actually,
Some iron brew.
Iron brew, yeah.
yeah. So in Food and Wine, what they could do is where the fish and chip stand is, they could branch out and do pizza crunch, battered burgers, a battered
said-
sausage.
I was
Think
going to say,
of
you
that.
said that at Mars bars.
I was
do
waiting
battered
for
marshmallows.
that.
Yeah, they could do all of that during the festival because that would be something different.
Yeah.
Pizza crunch, just saying.
Sure would.
That's amazing. Or you know, they can't do black pudding, red pudding, white pudding, or haggis fritters, but they could do the other stuff that you would get in a.
Which perhaps says a lot about them as dishes about them not getting into.
I agree.
The
Having
the
been through that,
States
I
as
agree.
well.
But you know, something different during the festival rather than just fish and chips.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Rolling sausage.
They had
was sorted.
the first
Right.
time we went. They had a Scottish booth, and they basically had two dishes. One was a Cranachan, which is when done properly, Cranachan's quite good. It wasn't done properly.
I have to challenge your pronunciation of it.
I'm from Lancashire, not from Scotland.
Yeah, Cranachan
Cranachan, yeah.
with lots of
And
whiskey.
and the other one was a vegetarian haggis.
No.
Yep. Nope.
To be fair, though, I've had vegetarian haggis recently. I've had vegan haggis from McSween's,
Okay.
who are the best haggis company.
McSween's, yeah. McSween's will do a good job.
The benefit McSween's do a vegetarian haggis or a vegan haggis, which is made with lentils, but they use exactly the same spice mix that they use in their standard haggis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually okay because I make haggis nachos.
Mm.
It's fine. I'm not sure I'd want it with neeps and tatties. So spread it in a toasty or on some nachos, it's fine.
I think
But
we
it's
need some photos of these haggis nachos.
Oh, I've got photos of them. Yeah, that's what we have when we watch the rugby, Scotland England rugby.
Definitely. Yeah.
A whole suite of Scottish things. So,
Cool.
What
it's
was
not
it we got
awful.
one year? Haggis bonbons.
It's little
Oh, yeah,
bites.
it's like
Yeah,
in
they're like little round
Yeah.
bites of haggis.
Just-
Yeah, they were really nice.
haggis toasty. Just get the bread toasty bacon out and stick some haggis in it.
Or put it on a or burger haggis
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as it's a slice and it's well cooked.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone else who doesn't like haggis.
Well, that's good.
But
Cool.
John, you're right. It needs a Scotland booth. Simple.
Yeah.
Just
Proper Scottish booth.
And a Wales booth. Do a load of Welsh cakes for a start. Yeah.
Welsh cakes.
Lava bread.
Lava bread. Oh no, they wouldn't like lava bread. No.
No.
They've got Sophie, everything else.
Oh, Welsh cakes, basically. Welsh cakes are very.
Welsh cakes and cow.
Maybe just a UK booth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we can have
maybe.
a little bit of
One
everything.
thing
Isn't
is
just-
the space in the UK. That's the thing I don't understand because there's so
Yeah.
much
No.
space.
And they've also got that space behind. Well, the thing is, you could have where sort of the garden bit is behind. There's so much room there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've also got to the right of the fish and chip shop.
They could have
Yeah.
a tea
So-
booth. They could have a really nice like extra tea garden
Yeah.
thing going on.
Yeah.
But none of that. They missed out.
Yes.
Hmm.
We have.
So it's my
Right.
turn.
It is your turn, Peter.
It's your
Did
turn
I?
now, Peter. That's it. Go on. What
Okay,
what
right.
are you not eating from a chef perspective? I think
It's
it's really
very
important, this.
difficult to pick.
Mm.
It's very difficult to pick because I'm going to start in Japan, and I'm going to start with the fire taiko rolls, because I'm not Madam Cucumber. Sorry.
Is that the only reason?
And I don't like too much spicy stuff. But yeah, basically, I don't like too much spice, and cucumber gives me indigestion. Yeah.
Oh, you got to see,
yeah. But no, and tuna again has a delicate taste, and if you put too much spice with it, all you're going to taste is spice. It's not for me. And as I said, I had so much trouble because there's so much that I actually like. Again, I'm not a fan of Indian food, so I get nothing from India. Nothing.
Okay. Not even a crispy paneer.
I have the
Even the tikka masala.
I don't like that mix of coriander and all those different spices.
I enjoyed the crispy paneer.
They were nice.
Yeah, I really liked them. They were nice.
When I went to India, I actually went to India and I tried to get into Indian food, and I just can't.
You see, that's a problem there.
Not me. And yes, I would not go for the croissant or escargot.
See, look at that. We've kept it going all the way through there, Peter, just so that we could keep that just for you, because actually,
yeah. I don't think escargot belongs in a croissant.
I was going to say escargot belong on a gate or on a pathway, or eating my courgette plants. They do not belong.
When they're done properly with a lovely garlic and herb sauce, they're delicious.
No.
But no, not in a croissant. Not in a croissant, no. And I'm sorry, Claire, but as a matter of principle, I don't tend to like anything that is trying to be meat and is not meat. So any of the impossible stuff, I probably wouldn't have, because I would rather have a proper vegetarian dish or a proper vegan dish that is telling me what it is and is not trying to be something else.
I actually agree with you, Peter. Yeah. I tend not to eat meat substitutes in any way, shape or form. Yeah. I'm just slightly excited about the fact that they've thought about it this year.
Yeah.
Whereas
instead of just having the one item and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's good.
Walt Disney World chicken tenders are amazing. It's not that I don't like them.
Yeah.
And if the impossible tenders are anything like them, then that might help bridge the gap slightly. But if you notice that most of my choices are not filled with meat.
I would actually take my hat off to them, because actually what we're beginning to see is that complete widening of the spectrum of food that's actually available for all kinds of different people.
Yeah. I agree, John. If you're gluten free this year, there's so many.
It is really crucial. I don't think we say this often enough, is the fact that whoever's behind the scenes on the food team are actually really catering for such a diverse sort of audience at last. And I was also pointing, given the fact I mentioned about drinks and stuff like that, in a lot of the booths, there's a lot of they could describe it as alcohol removed. Which again gives you the idea that you actually get. Yeah, but it's not. It's to try and. It's like it's like hard cider, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's trying to make the difference between stuff that's actually has that sort of same principle of brewing, but they've removed the alcohol, and there's quite a lot of that that's just dropped into some of the menus that are available. Again, just widening it out for everyone who's doing food and wine.
I agree wholeheartily.
That's my drum that I've been banging for years.
Yeah,
because I'm not a big drinker, and if you're there in the summer, it's very hot, and you know
you could go for the pickle milkshake.
Yeah, maybe not. No. So I think the more other options you have, other than you can have a Coke or a water,
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
go for it.
Right, so Jill, what's on your list?
I started off with another one of these things that in my head just don't go together. And I know that if you're American, you'll be thinking about Thanksgiving with this one, and it'll be something that you probably love. But for me, looking at the sweet potato casserole fries with candied pecans, toasted marshmallow cream, and maple bourbon glaze in the fry flight.
Oh, I think that sounds great.
I just can't think of sweet potatoes plus candied things plus marshmallows plus maple syrup. That's just, you might as well just have something sweet instead
Sweet
of
potato is sweet.
well, kind of, but it's still a vegetable,
I don't know if anyone's ever been to Longhorn Steakhouse, but
Yep.
one of the side dish accompaniments that you can
yeah.
choose is a sweet potato, and they serve it with cinnamon, sugar, and butter,
Ooh.
and it's
that
so
sounds nice.
good.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I thought actually that sounds like a really interesting thing to try.
I just
Yeah.
can't get my head around vegetable plus sweet.
Mm.
Yeah, if it was an apple or a banana,
Yeah.
fine. But
I hate to say this, but carrot cake.
well, carrot cake's not that sweet, but yeah.
Sounds like
Okay.
shaky butternut.
Well, yeah. My second one, Millie's going to have to finish off mine because this is the spiced chocolate tart with barbecue potato chip crust, salted whiskey caramel, and smoked sea salt. And it was just too much salt.
It's just so intriguing. I think it's such an interesting dish.
I want to know how much salt and actually goes into that.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you imagine if you had the nutritional values? Years worth of salt in one mouthful.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I'm so over salted caramel. Please, can we move on and
I like
have some
it.
caramel
I
that
like
isn't
it.
salted?
I like both. I'll eat both.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just salt, and salt with a side order of salt. So no, didn't fancy that one. And the third one, just because I have tried this and I'm yet to be convinced, is from the refreshment port, and it's braised beef poutine, French fries with braised beef, boursin garlic and fine herb, cheese sauce, cheese curds, crumbled boursin garlic and fine herb, and gherkin relish. So
I was along with that until you said go.
So the gherkin.
we did actually have this. The gherkin relish was kind of a green blob.
Yeah.
And the sauce was just it wasn't really a sauce. It was kind of a roll of boursin. It was kind of like a scoop of ice cream,
Oh.
but boursin. It was just sort of dumped on the top. And sorry Canadians, but I just have yet to be convinced about soggy chips covered in gravy.
Chips and gravy.
Chips and gravy.
That's an awesome thing.
I
Chips and gravy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, here in Wales, we have chips with curry sauce.
Right. But in Manchester, you have chips, cheese, and gravy.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
lived on that university, so that's all it is.
the same
No,
thing.
I have yet to be convinced about
I
that.
think a mate went to Canada and started it.
Yeah, probably. So,
Yeah. Maybe they'll take butter pie one day as well.
Maybe so.
So-
Go on, Becca.
I have a slight problem. All three of mine have been said.
Yay! We've done a good job there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to quickly go through the menus and see what else I can find. So there was also the peri peri skewered shrimp, just because I don't like seafood. So most of these were probably going to be seafood based.
Yeah.
I just got to see if I can find them all. What else?
The menus this year feels like there's an awful lot on.
There is. There's a lot
There is,
on
yeah.
here that actually. The Baijiu punch, I probably wouldn't fancy. It's a Chinese bijou spirit pina colada mix, lychee syrup, and
no.
sparkling water. I don't like pina colada or sparkling water.
I think the water's just there to make up the volume in the glass, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And it's just, nah,
No.
not for me. And Sweet grilled and spicy bush berry shrimp. Again, it's shrimp. Seafood. That was from the Australia booth.
I want to know what bushberry shrimp is.
It's pepper, onion, snap peas, and coconut chili sauce.
Sounds something that's from I'm a Celebrity with a Bush Tucker trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like shrimp, so I don't like seafood in general.
While we're on the bushberry shrimp, I'm disappointed no one's mentioned the beaver tail either.
There's a beaver tail? I must admit
Yes,
that.
there is.
That's all about.
Which
Yes, I
apparently
saw.
is some kind of like flat pastry with cinnamon
It
sugar
is,
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's mentioned that.
That looks like a beaver
That's
tail.
disappointing, really.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The best thing from the Canada booth is still the pork chop with
Are you
crisps.
choosing?
No, that's Australia. Australia.
The fourth one.
You're talking about the Australian lamb chop with the Christmas.
Lamb chop,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Morgan's favourite.
It is the best thing from that booth still. Yeah.
And,
All of
you
them.
know,
So
I
did
mean, I
Morgan and
can't-
Millie choose any that they wouldn't want to try?
No, I didn't ask. There wasn't any they didn't want. They just wanted to pick the ones they did want.
You're keeping that positivity alive. I
Good.
like that, Claire. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I like, and I think we've probably shown by tonight, is there's a lot of food and drink there for everyone.
Yeah.
there is
Because
something for
there's so much
everyone.
choice there. Actually, how many times we've been to Epcot and walked around and gone, I don't know, when the weather can be really hot, how much do you want to eat? Sometimes it can always be a difficult thing, but there's enough food and drink there to keep you going all the way around.
And the
right way
portion
around
sizes
what
are
Shell
good as
gets.
well for
Yes.
And I think
for a hot day.
I think there's enough for people who have modified diets, or as my friend
Yeah.
last week, I was at a conference last week and I was off to find the vegan food, and my friend said, "Oh, are you going for the special needs diet?"
Oh,
Apparently so.
Oh, no.
She was a gluten-free person, and we bonded over that. So,
oh,
yeah, I think there is so much choice if you have a requirement for a modified diet. There is this food and wine festival. I'm so excited. There are things I can eat, whereas I think that hasn't always been consistent. So
There's a
well
lot.
done,
I think
Disney.
there's a lot more stuff.
We've always praised Disney previously from how they've dealt with table service restaurants and quick service, how the chef will come to you if you've got intolerances, if there's food that you can't eat, and certain sort of meals, and how they can adapt them and what they can do. It's nice to have that sort of in sort of a festival sort of format. That there's so much choice there. There will be something for gluten-free, for vegan, for people who don't want alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And there is information available if you, like Peter, have an allergy that's not one of the big ones.
Yeah.
And you need to know exactly what's got plantain in it, what's got banana in it. There is the information available.
And I want to recommend the Food and Wine app. It's something that we came across a couple of years ago, and you can use it for all of the festivals. I'll put a link to it in the show notes and in the YouTube description. But it's really good because you can take photos, and that gets shared with everyone else of the food. So if someone's like, "Look, I'm not sure what that's like," you can also leave reviews and ratings of it as well, so you can share what you think of the food, and also tick off.
You can tick off what ones you wouldn't mind trying, which ones you've had,
which ones you'd never try again.
Thank you all for listening to our show, whether you're tuning in through your preferred podcast platform or watching our video podcast on YouTube. We truly appreciate your support. If you've missed any of our previous episodes or simply want to relive them, you can find them on our YouTube channel or on your podcast platform of choice, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget, our Wafflers Wednesday shows go live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. in the UK or 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also catch the replays on our YouTube channel or listen to the podcast version, which is released every Friday. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and Threads at GB Mickey Waffle. You can also reach us via email at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com if you're feeling a little old school. We don't have a PO box if you're feeling very ancient, however. So
I don't think you can send it to free post.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a place to connect with your fellow Disney enthusiasts, check out our Facebook community, The Wafflers Arms. There we discuss all things Disney, share trip countdowns, photos, stories, trip tips and tricks. And if you have any questions about an upcoming trip or anything else really, I can guarantee you someone in the community will know the answer. And now there's just one thing left to say. Waffle on!
Waffle on!